Hey everyone, Dylan here, and in today's video I'm going to be doing some stories that are kind of centered in the same place. So I'm calling it my Rickers Adventures. When Rickers was called Rickers, it's a gas station, convenience store type thing. And when I was a kid, I had a lot of stuff happen there. Not a bunch of crazy stuff, but just different things that I have memories about, and I just have memories about, so I wanted to just talk about them all in this one video. So let's get started here. So basically, when I was about 11, I became friends with this guy named Jose, and I think when I was about 12, we were friends for about a year, and he ended up moving, and I ended up starting to stay the night at his house a lot, every weekend. And 3 to 4 minutes down the road from him was a Rickers. And at this point in time, he's actually the one who got me into skateboarding. And we would go there a lot to get drinks, to get different things. We would sometimes go there to skateboard in the parking lot. And then behind the Rickers, there was just this road type thing behind it that we would go back there and skate as well. That eventually got fenced off to where you couldn't go back there anymore, but you could go back there and cars could go back there and stuff, to pass through better or something, I don't know. But one of the very first memories I have, and I don't know why that I remember this. This is 13 years ago, but it just stuck out in my mind. Me and him went to Rickers one day, and we just bought a bunch of food and snacks and stuff. And I just remember when we put the stuff on the counter, this guy, I don't know why I remember this, but he's just snack time. Just the way he said it was so hilarious to me. I just think it's funny still to this day, 13 years later. I remember it so vividly. And I don't know, it's just because he saw we had all these things snack time. And it's so stupid, but it's so funny at the same time to me. And I just laugh when I think about it. And so that's just kind of one memory from just being at that Rickers, just one of the very first ones. Another one was probably ruining a cashier's day, to be honest. So me and my friend Jose had he had a jar of pennies, and we counted out how much money it was in pennies. I don't remember how much it was, but it was several dollars, maybe even $10 in pennies or something. It was an insane amount of freaking pennies. And so we get our stuff. We have this jar of pennies. We go up to the counter, and I kid you not, we poured the entire jar of pennies all over the counter. The counter was almost entirely covered in pennies. It was hilarious. There were a couple people. There was a line behind us, and just the cashier. It wasn't the same cashier that said snack time. It was a different one at this point. But he was just go. We just took our stuff and just went. He's just go, because he had to deal with all those pennies, and he didn't want the line to be held up. And I don't know, just his reaction was hilarious. We're just oh, this will be hilarious. And so I'm pretty sure we ruined that guy's day at that point in time doing that. So I don't know, it's hey, we have all these pennies, let's have some fun with it, right? Let's get some stuff and have some fun with it at the same time. So that's another thing. Another thing was we would skateboard there a good bit, and there was a woman cashier that we ended up seeing a good bit when we were buying stuff, and she eventually saw it. I think she was on break and was sawing us skateboarding one time, and randomly this car just kind of rolled up from the behind the street, or the street behind the Rickers, and he said something to us, and maybe this was stranger danger and we should have been more careful, but we ended up talking to him. He was yeah, my old lady was telling me about you guys, and he ended up giving me and my friend $1 each so we could get a pop a piece. I mean, it was really cool. And when we went inside, she told us about it. She was oh yeah, she told us that she had him give us that money and stuff. So that was cool and nice of him, but I guess it was kind of creepy for him to just roll it up and then us going up towards him. Maybe that wasn't the smartest thing, but we were in like still a public kind of area, so maybe it was alright. I don't know. But that was a cool thing. Just a memory I have. Another one is where we got into this kick of buying a bunch of different Powerades and Gatorades and mixing them together to find out what flavor it could make. That kind of thing was a thing that we did. Another thing, and probably the last thing that I can think about for like the moment, is that that's where my energy drink addiction started. So when I was like 12 years old and we were skateboarding stuff, we would get energy drinks and skateboard in the parking lot and stuff. And we ended up I started my energy drinks off with like Monster. Now, Monster was disgusting to me back then. And it's still nasty to me now. Like, maybe it's better now, like the sugary version. I do like the like zero sugar versions of the Monsters now, but I don't know if their sugary versions are good or bad or still the same as they've always been, but they used to be nasty to me. And I did eventually get used to them after a while. We ended up like trying like each and every flavor. I think the flavors they had at the time, they had the green kind, the green Monster. Then they had the blue, they had the red, and then I believe they had purple. And then I think they also had like a yellow and an orange. I don't think they may have had a pink. I can't remember every single flavor they had. I think they had at least like 6 flavors at the time. We tried them all, and we would drink them a lot. My friend like ended up making a he had a keychain or like a key ring and put each tab, because each different color of Monster had its own colored tab, and so he had that thing, which was kind of cool. And so yeah, that's kind of how that started. And because I started drinking energy drinks, I ended up getting my dad to start drinking them. Not Monster, but he saw me drinking them a lot, and I would get them a lot. And eventually it kind of just spilled off into him. And for like 10 years now, he's drank like a rock star. Like, that's the stuff he drinks. He drinks Rockstar Fruit Punch. He drinks them like every day for the past 10 years. Sometimes he even drinks 2 a day, and like that's my fault. For like, I mean, maybe he would have eventually gotten to them later anyways, but I didn't help the process, so we just kind of like, he drank energy drinks a lot. And for like, oh my god, like 4, 5, 6 years, from like 12 to like 18, maybe a little longer, I drank energy drinks a lot. Like a lot. So that kind of started off my energy drink addiction. I'm not addicted to energy drinks anymore. I'll have like a sugar-free Monster once in a blue moon, or maybe an Amp, but for the most part I don't drink sugary energy drinks like that anymore. But yeah, so, and then from there I branched off to drinking different energy drinks, and Full Throttle, NOS, Amp being my favorite, and like years of me drinking energy drinks kind of came from that Rickers, and I was just skateboarding there and buying it. I just have a lot of fond memories of that Rickers and stuff. And man, we went there so much. I think every weekend I went and stayed the night at his house. We would make a Rickers trip. So I went to Rickers like so many times. So there's probably other stories that I'm not even thinking of, or that I just can't remember, that happened. So I just have a lot of fond memories at that Rickers, man. It's kind of crazy that they're now like named to Get Go now, and they're no longer Rickers, but they'll still be Rickers in my heart. That's what's the important thing, I guess. But yeah, that's kind of just my like little stories, Rickers adventures when I was like 12, and like with my friend Jose and stuff. Shout out to my friend Jose. But yeah, so that's kind of been my story. Hope you guys enjoyed and all that good stuff. Thank you guys for watching, and thank you guys for listening. I will see you in the next video.